Psilohuasca. It is the combination of psilocybin mushrooms and a monoamine oxidase inhibitor. The MAOI that I was using was a Syrian Rue extract. I used 400 milligrams. I took that, and then I think it was 40 minutes later, I took 5 grams of psilocybin mushrooms. Now, this combination is incredibly powerful. If you're looking to jump into this, or if you're looking to work with this combination of substance, you should really build up to this. I was building up my mushroom doses. I started at 3 grams, and then 3.5 grams, and then 4 grams, then 4.5 grams, then 5 grams. And then when I got to 5 grams, I jumped back down to 3 grams, and I added the MAOI. Then the MAOI with 3 grams, the MAOI with 3.5 grams, then the MAOI with 4 grams. And then I was supposed to do 4.5, or at least that's what my intentions were. But something I'm just going to jump to 5 grams, and that is this story. This is also the first time that I encountered God. I was able to walk away from this experience saying that there is no way, nobody can convince me otherwise, that I didn't just meet God, or I didn't experience God, or God was coming out of my body. So this is that story. So for this story, I took my MAOI, and then 40 minutes later, I took my mushrooms, and I blended my mushrooms up. And what I found is when I blend them up, like in a smoothie, when I blend them, they come on a lot quicker. Without the smoothie, it's usually 45 minutes every time I can start feeling it. But with the smoothie, it's, 15, 20, 25 minutes, it starts kicking in. And with this time, there was something in the air. It was something just needed to be expressed. As soon as I took my mushrooms, within a matter of minutes, I could feel them. I was like, holy shit, this is coming on strong. So I went, and usually I take my mushrooms and I go and have a shower. And then I'll go lie down and have time to meditate a little bit as they come on. But it was just like, boom. Like, I cleaned my blender, and it was like, all right, it's go time. Let's do this. Within a matter of minutes of lying down, it was just like blackness with my eyes closed. And at the time, I was experimenting a lot with mushrooms, like a lot. And my trips were vastly different, except for the first 15 to 20 minutes where it builds up. And the building up was usually always the same. It would always come on in yawns, and then after that it would be like I'm running through a maze. Every time I'd go through the maze, I'd enter a room, like a closet in a room, or a closet in the maze. I'm like cleaning out the closet, like I'm just scraping away the gunk. And once the room was spotless, I'd back out of the room and go back into the maze, and then I'd continue on. But there was none of that. Like, I probably did it like 7 times at least where it presented itself this way. But this time was no. It was like I was like at a festival. I was at like a hippie festival, and there was just a row of boarded fences. Just this long row, and I was running beside the fences, and then the running turned into like just gradually faster and faster and faster until hitting light speed, basically. And then there was an explosion. Usually there's an explosion, and then it's like ending that part of the healing, and I'm going on to something else. So this explosion happened, and then there was just nothing, just like darkness. From the darkness arose this energy, and this energy was red. It was almost like a Windows 95 screensaver, where the energy was just morphing into itself. And then as it got closer and closer and closer to me, I started to realize that it was God. And at the time I hadn't experienced God. I was just, what, this is impossible. What is this? And I somehow realized that it was inside of me. And I was lying in my bed, and there was this 10-minute dance of me experiencing God as separate from myself, and it was slowly being integrated into my experience. And once it was fully integrated, I was left in my room. I was like, I am God. I am God. God is inside of me. And God is trying to get out of me. I was like, I'm God and I can do anything. It's like, okay, well then, if I'm God, I can magically make my clothes disappear. And then of course they didn't disappear. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna take them off anyway. So I stripped off all my clothes and I'm lying in bed. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm God, that means I'm everything. And if I'm everything, I don't need this body anymore. Like, it's such a limiting vehicle to experience reality. So then I took both my hands, and God, I don't know how this happened, but like I put all my fingers down my throat. There's like no gag reflex. Like, God, if I'm brushing my tongue, I gag. So I don't know how this happened, but I was like trying to rip my jaw off, like trying to rip my body apart. You know, it wasn't like violent or anything, but the intention was there. And then after I realized that that wasn't gonna happen, then I was like poking my chest, like out of the Matrix, you know, when Agent Smith like stabs Neo and starts to like turn him into like that metallic being, or it was like that. I was trying to do that to myself. Like I was trying to pierce my chest. I was trying to rip my chest open, and it wasn't working. And the way that God was wanting to express itself was overtaking this being, and I couldn't, from the ego's perspective, hold on, and it was being eroded very quickly. And I was like like the closest thing that I could feel to that experience was an orgasm. So then the extent of my expression, the only way that I could express myself in that moment was just saying, come. And I must have said it 20 times. Just come. Oh, it was ridiculous. It was like that perfect moment, and I was experiencing it. And that was the only other time that I've ever experienced like anything remotely close to that. Yeah, it was wild. That was a wild time. So this went on for like an hour of me experiencing myself as God, and then God was like, I thought God wanted to take over the body, but little did I know, it's just waking up to itself. It already is there. And then from there, you know, this is the part that's caused a lot of like illusion on my path. It's like I take this medicine and it lasts like bloody, like usually mushrooms last like 5 hours. 5 hours, and after 5 hours I'm usually able to get up and go have a bite to eat or whatever. But doing it with an MAOI, it lasts like 8 hours. 8 hours, and then there's like an hour of come down where I'm like trying to like function again. But with this, it was like, it was so long. Like after I had my God moment, then there was this long period of just lying there, and the ego was trying to make sense of what was happening. And then I'm just filled with like, well, fuck, I'm God, and I can do anything. And then I was just playing with these stories after story of things that I want to do that I, before that experience, I would never dream of doing. Like one of the big takeaways was like, I'm gonna open up a healing retreat in Hawaii. And like, it was stuff like that, like as cool as that sounds, like it was such an illusion to work through. Such an illusion. I mean, it'd be cool to, like, I don't know if I have part of that illusion. Like, I would like to live in Hawaii one day, but like, or maybe that's all it was. And like I'd like to serve 5-MeO. I would like to do that. Yeah, I would like to serve 5-MeO. So both of those things, if I broke them down enough, then this is where I'm at with that. And this was like, God, 2-3 years ago now. So then I still don't know if those are illusions or not, but all I know is that's where I'm at with it now. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, but that was the first time that I experienced like anything godlike. You know, I've done like even my experiences with DMT, and it just never presented itself in that way. Just never made it that far, I guess. And that was the first. That was like the first time taking the crowbar and prying open. You know, getting that gap big enough that the true self can shine through, in a sense. It's a long trip, but those are the main points. And like I said at the beginning, if you're looking to play with this stuff or heal from this stuff or just experience this stuff, you got to do your research. You know, there's certain foods that you can't eat with an MAOI. We have an enzyme in our gut, monoamine oxidase, and it's what breaks down the psilocin after the body turns the psilocybin from the mushroom into psilocin. And the psilocin is what makes it all like trippy and freaky and weird. And if you inhibit the monoamine oxidase, which breaks it down, it makes the psilocin in your body able to stay there longer. So yeah, in my experience, it does make it longer and it does make it stronger. I wouldn't say it is as strong as ayahuasca. I mean, you could always increase the mushroom amount, and I'm sure you could get there, but from what I experienced, it's a definitely step above mushrooms alone, but it's not quite on par with ayahuasca. So that was the first time that I experienced God. If you found this video enjoyable, entertaining at all, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.